It was the time of the morning when the sun and the moon weren't exactly meeting, but they shared the spotlight nonetheless. Stars were sparkling, and for once the entire world was at ease. The sky was a radiant violet and orange, and everything couldn't have been more peaceful.
It's stunning.
Celestia murmured.
You're stunning.
Sombra whispered as he continued to place kisses on her neck. Celestia could feel the blush flare up, and she smiled bashfully. She never had any pony treat her this way, and this feeling of romantic love was so new and foreign to her, but she adored it. Back at home, there was tension and stress. But here, on this other side, she was happy and content. Worrying didn't exist. All she had was him, her kind, sweet, caring, and chivalrous king, all hers. She nuzzled up against him and hesitated to kiss his lips. She was still a young mare with her first love. However, his brilliant smile made her brighten up, and she took the plunge, wrapping her hooves around his neck and pulling him in for a passionate embrace. While love was certainly there, Sombra laughed as she nearly toppled them over and was awkward with the kiss. Celestia was klutzy compared to her lover, but he certainly didn't mind.
Sorry.
She muttered with a soft giggle.
Whatever for?
Sombra said.
You're being the perfect angel that you are.
Her blush only increased, and she suppressed the urge to laugh out loud victoriously. Yes, here she was, Princess Celestia, having her storybook love life. And he loved her for who she was, not because he was betrothed to her, or just in it for her title. He genuinely loved her, even if they only had known each other for a few months and had to keep running back and forth to keep it all behind closed doors for no pony else to know. She released a content sigh and smiled as he held her close. This was it. Look up perfect in the dictionary, and two lovers sitting on the rooftop of a beaten-down castle, closer than close, would be the picture to accompany the definition.
I'll have to leave soon.
Celestia said softly.
Star Swirl will get suspicious.
Sombra nodded, as if he understood, and for the most part, he did. He knew that there was going to be a price for falling in love with a princess from a parallel universe.
What about that sister of yours?
He inquired.
Does she suspect anything?
She never comes out of her room.
Celestia sighed.
Practically every day I try talking to her, but nothing seems to help. She's been this way for months now, and I haven't a clue why.
She released a light scoff.
And on the rare occasion she does wander around the castle, she's acting so depressed. She isn't the excited, fun-loving Luna I used to know.
He hesitated, trying to find any sort of words that could comfort her. But alas, all he could do was lean in and kiss her again. She held onto his cape and pulled him in even closer, if that were possible, and was hypnotized by the sweetness of the embrace. It was amusing how sincere he actually was versus her futile but cute attempts to act all bold and experienced. Granted, neither of them knew much about love, but their hearts were beating in sync and the flame was ablaze like a fire in a desert. What more did they need?
You look better when you smile.
Sombra said.
You should do it more often.
Thank you.
Celestia murmured. She was taken aback and raised an eyebrow as he let out another chuckle.
What is it?
He grinned in a sweet yet slightly teasing manner.
You're blushing again.
He pointed out.
Does every single compliment make you flustered? I'm a bit surprised if that is the case. What with you being a princess and all, you should be getting them constantly.
Wouldn't that be nice?
She said in a dry tone. He smirked at her attempt of sarcasm, and she returned the grin as she intertwined their hooves.
You're the exception. You know that.
Well, I suppose that's a good thing.
He mused.
A very good thing.
She assured. Sombra nudged her, and Celestia smiled sweetly, wrapping a wing around him. If either of them could freeze this moment in time and never let it go, they would both jump at the chance. She opened up her mouth to speak when the clock tower downtown interrupted her. It began ringing. Now was the time to leave. If she didn't escape now, she would be arriving home later than usual and Starsworld would catch her. She couldn't risk that. With a sigh, Celestia's expression said it all. Sombra nodded and placed one last kiss on her cheek. She held onto his hoof tightly for one last minute, and she got up, stepping off of the roof and onto the balcony of the castle. Normally, Sombra would have stayed in his spot, but this time, he had decided to follow her and bid her farewell face to face. She pursed her lips and released a deep breath.
I'll try and be back as soon as I can.
She reminded him. He nodded.
I know that,
He said, with his usual smile that made her heart flutter. Celestia was about to turn round and step into the mirror to head back to her own universe when she felt his hoof grab her own. She raised an eyebrow and looked back in confusion. Sombra hesitated, only before leaning in, placing the softest yet most sincere of kisses on her lips. She let out a light squeak of surprise from the passion cursing in the embrace, and she reached back, wrapping a foreleg around his neck.
What was that for?
She whispered.
You never kiss me goodbye.
I finally figured it out.
He declared.
Figured what out?
His green eyes reflected against her mauve ones, and he cleared his throat.
We may be worlds apart, but I have to say,
He was nervous for the first time in a long time, and he began stammering.
Celestia,
She was feeling dizzy, light-headed, and her heart was like a feather.
Yes.
Well,
Sombra was actually stuttering now.
I think, no, I know it.
He swallowed.
I love you. These past few months, a little over half a year, it has been absolutely irreplaceable.
Celestia felt completely careless and free. She could have pounced him and showered him with kisses, or started crying of joy on the spot. But instead, all she could do was smile, the most priceless of grins. She inhaled and exhaled deeply, giving a nod.
I couldn't agree more.
She murmured.
I love you more.
He chuckled.
If you say so.
He teased. She knew for sure that she was blushing now. Tugging the collar of his cape, she pulled him in to steal one last quick kiss. Finally, he had said it. No, better yet, they had said it. The three little words that every pony wanted to hear from someone they were romantically involved with. Celestia parted away from him and giggled like the love-struck fool she was. Then she stepped through the mirror, and the last thing she saw was Sombra's stunning smile.
Thank you for listening, every pony. Feel free to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to know when I post more content like this. Feel free to follow me on TikTok, Patreon, X, and Discord. Links in the description. And should you want to join my new nation, feel free to join the Shade Hollow, my Discord server. Good night, every pony.